Attention.
Well, it's one for the money, two for the show, three to get ready now.
1, 2, 3.
Back out to Allen. His three-pointer.
Triple Threat! All right, welcome into Triple Threat Episode 2. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I'm calling this one The Darkness Before the Dawn because we have quite a debate. 3 topics, Triple Threat. I'm Shawnee O with my 2 boys here. My 2, people I see as superheroes. We got Sheehy the Irishman. What's up, Sheehy?
What's going on, brothers?
Ooh, I'm mad at you this week. And so we're going to go right over to Morse. Morse, the super sportsman. What's up, Morse?
What's up, America?
Yeah, America. Love that. Morse, what are you drinking this afternoon, this evening?
Goose Island IPA.
Ooh, love the IPAs. Sheehy, you got that whiskey?
Mm-hmm.
Proper number 12, baby.
And I'm repping the Stoneface IPA, 7.2 ABV. Getting
Anything's
going.
an upgrade from last week, Sean. Anything.
Yeah. Accurate.
Yeah, got a couple bottles of wine in me this weekend, and didn't really help the old poker game. But you know all about that, Sheehy, don't you?
Good for you.
How much money you end up winning out of that, Sheehy?
$300.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus, $300,000 on one weekend.
Yeah, I wish. I wouldn't be talking to you guys.
Yeah.
Old poker, huh?
Yeah.
So we got quite the episode for everybody this week. Last week was so much fun. Thanks for all those who are following us on Facebook, Twitter. Thanks for the feedback, the comments. Appreciate it. Let's keep it going this week. Obviously, the coronavirus keeping everybody down, so let's be happy and have some fun and have some entertainment going. This week, we have our Superhero Mount Rushmore. I think it's going to be a debate because I already know some of Sheehy's and he's wrong. So here's what this is, okay? Mount Rushmore. 4 presidents are up on Mount Rushmore. What I want you two and myself to do is who are our 4 superheroes up on Mount Rushmore? This could be superheroes you like. This could be superheroes you respect. This could be superheroes you think will win in a debate. Who are they? So we're going to run this a little bit differently this week. We'll each get 2 minutes of respected time, so nobody talks in people's respected time, and then we'll have a 3-minute triple threat debate. Sheehy, you're Irish, so you get to start this one off. Very excited to hear your 4. Go ahead, buddy.
Wow. I'm already getting set up. My 4, in no particular order, are Superman. Clearly, Captain America, Wonder Woman, and Wolverine. Now, I'm going to start with. What happened to no comment?
Give him his time. Go ahead.
Talk.
I don't know.
That was a sound effect.
So Superman is, and I know we're not putting numbers on this stuff, but Superman will always be my number 1 for a multitude of reasons. He was technically the first ever major superhero comic book series, not one created for like a newspaper comic strip. He was the first ever published comic book. From my understanding, in 1938. He's probably the most famous out of all of them. And then when it comes to the character and who he is considered, Sean, to the discussion we were having earlier about powers and stuff like that with like Thor and people like that. He's considered godlike, like some of them.
Look, I don't mean to be a douche, but are you really going to use your 2 minutes up on one superhero?
Oh yeah.
Like seriously?
No, he's all powerful and he just wants to be a boy from Kansas. He wants to do the right thing nonstop. Same with, you could say the same about Captain America and Wonder Woman as well. They have the same build around them. And Wolverine, for me, he, although is an outlier in many regards in who he is and how he handles himself, can be brash at times, is this small little 5 foot nothing, similar to me.
Sounds like something I know.
Yeah, right. I mean, I could play him probably, but
I'd watch that.
Brash. Yeah, he's brash. He's tough. But he in the heat of the moment always tries to, like many of these other guys, and girls and women do the right thing. And I think the four of them just make a Mount Rushmore of superheroes that you could justify.
Talk about Wonder Woman real quick.
That
was the most interesting one, I thought.
I think that from a superhero standpoint, Wonder Woman, she's in some ways naive. She's yet very trained, probably more than the other on this list for fighting from a standpoint of battle and defeating, foes that are trained in the arts of war and things like that. She's probably the most trained out of all of them, which to me, when you think of like the Justice League and Batman and Superman and some of these, she's probably the most fit to lead from that standpoint. And again, she's probably, besides Superman, one of the most powerful beings out there, maybe even in some cases more powerful than Superman. And she always tries to use whatever she has, whatever is behind her being, to do the right thing and help others. It's never about her. And I love that. I love the selfless mentality behind all of these individuals. Even someone like Wolverine, who goes at people sometimes, is still in the end of it selfless. And that, to me, that's what a superhero has to be. Never about them.
All right.
That's
All right.
top
Well,
four.
I'm gonna move along this. Joe Biden, thank you for going over your time. She
Wow.
good four.
Wow.
Good four. Morris, go ahead.
No, I thought that was really well. For me, it's pretty simple. I don't think it's going to take 2 minutes. Superman, obvious GOAT. He's number one. Other ones would definitely be the two that are definites are Superman and Batman in my mind. And that's, to me, that's simple. And it's almost a 1 and a 1A. The 3 and 4, I was a little tossed up on. 3, I'm going to give to Iron Man. And the reason being, I think it was really propelled during the Marvel movies. To kind of backtrack, I think I might be in a different frame of mind than Sheehy as well. Sheehy referenced a lot of the comic books, the actual comic books in the history. For me, I'm more of a movie. When I think superheroes, I think of the movies. I don't know if it's because of my age or it's because of, how I grew up, whatever it is. And I think Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark really, really elevated Iron Man to a new level from a leadership perspective, from just overall likability. So I had to put Iron Man there. And then to Sheehy's point, I was kind of torn on 4 between Wolverine and Spider-Man for a couple of reasons. And Sheehy really sold me on Wolverine for a number of reasons. Definitely, I think with all these guys, there has to, or one thing that helps them, I think, is some sort of leadership quality. Iron Man, obviously, as we've seen in the Marvel Universe movies. Superman and Batman, not really. But I think they're just on such another level. It's not even worth going into the other reasons why. So that's why I would take someone like Wolverine, I think, over someone like Spider-Man, who I think Spider-Man's more iconic than some of the other Marvel guys. Like I know you mentioned Captain America. I would still put a slight edge Spider-Man over him. But just for more of diversity as well, I'll give that fourth spot to Wolverine. So Superman, Batman, Iron Man, Wolverine. Done.
Well,
easy money.
Morris, I got to say thank you, because at least we're on more of the right track here. I really do appreciate your 4. I think that was very well spoken, quick to the point, and I appreciate you keeping more to time. That's the beautiful thing about Triple Threat, is when people listen. Anywho.
Yeah, it sucks when people waste time just rambling.
Wow. This is eating into your time right now, Sean.
So I have one
exactly.
that you guys haven't mentioned. My 2, much like Morris, 2 of them were Superman and Batman. Easy. Superman is defined in the word super, is defined in the definition of superhero, and Batman is my favorite superhero of the time. So
it's cool.
So those are 2 on there. I had trouble between Captain America, Wolverine, Spider-Man. My 3rd spot went to Spider-Man. I feel like Spider-Man, from a pop cultural perspective, how many movies that are out there for him. He was one of the originals. Again, I come at it from a Dan Morris movie perspective as well. He was one of the original superhero movies out there. Just what he can do, the webs. Also, he is kind of the next generation of superhero, as depicted in the movie. He's the kid. He's from, is it Queens or Brooklyn? He's Queens, right?
Brooklyn.
Oh, he's Brooklyn. Okay.
Oh, no.
So
Brooklyn is Captain America.
Captain
you're right. I
America.
think
He's Queens. So he's got that grit American, like he's so friggin' awesome. And so my fourth one, this one came down to the wire, but it's gonna be Captain. It's gonna be Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel.
That's respect.
She just is the great. She's the greatest. I'm not sure if you've seen an Avengers movie, or Endgame or any of them, but she took down ships. She isn't touched. She's got grit. She started it with the Fury. I mean,
we're talking about comic book Mount Rushmore, and you're asking me if I've seen.
No, that is not how we define this.
No, we didn't say comic book. We said superhero.
Or superhero. Sorry,
we said superhero.
It's not necessarily comic book. I like
she
Captain
is-
Marvel.
Yeah, she is, and so when I was going through my list, and we can go right into the discussion right now.
I don't think Thor's too happy with this list. If you guys are looking outside right now.
Yeah, I mean, Thor.
Yeah.
It was like, which superhero?
We have Thunder live on the set.
Which superhero is going to kick ass? Which superheroes do you respect? I mean, clearly Thor, Captain Marvel, and other ones can beat Batman in a fight, but
Well,
Batman,
if you don't mind,
go ahead.
I'll kick off the open discussion a little bit. Captain Marvel, I think, is a really good choice for a couple of reasons.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
From an actual power standpoint, yes. I mean, if you've seen the movie, if you've seen, he might know more about the comic book origin. But I just know based on the movies. She's pretty powerful. She's pretty badass, and she does have a cool backstory as well. I thought the Captain Marvel solo movie was really good. I thought it was actually one of the better solo movies they had. Yep. The other one that came to mind too, now that we were talking about this, the hell was I just going to say? Was kind of like, I remember. So we're talking about movies, and you said the original Spider-Man. I think maybe this is a separate episode, a separate topic, but it's interesting. I think everybody has, like, when you were referencing those Spider-Man movies, were you thinking Tobey Maguire? Were you thinking? I was originally, but no, I like the kid from the most recent ones. I like the current ones, 100%. He's by far the best Spider-Man. He's been the best one, 100%. Easily,
no question.
I think he's actually one of the best overall, like, actor characters, like, to be linked to. I'd like him a lot. Batman's probably the next most popular one. Who's your guys' Batman? Mine's Christian Bale, and without even thinking
no one's gonna
twice.
It's Michael.
Not the guy from like the. You're a Michael Keaton guy. See, I know where you're going.
No, I'm Affleck.
Oh my God! What? That shit didn't even count.
Oh my God! Hey Ryan,
it absolutely
Captain Marvel's gonna fly over to your Mount Rushmore.
Kick your ass.
Kick the shit out of it.
No, because
oh my God,
I would even take Val Kilmer over Ben Affleck. That's not even a real Batman.
What are you talking about? It's the most comic book accurate Batman that they've had.
Did Ben?
His eyes glow blue. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't even seen those movies because it looks so terrible.
Did Ben Affleck's Batman say more than 5 words?
Yes, he said a lot, actually.
Oh, okay, all right.
I take the over on that. I bet he said more than 5 words. I think Christian Bale's been awesome.
Amazing.
Tom Holland is the Spider-Man kid's name, by the way. He's awesome, dude. I think honestly, him and Robert Downey Jr. are the best parts of those Marvel movies. They're good. And Thor.
So I want to debate you on one of yours because, for the longest time I thought I was going to pick Cap as well. I think from out of Thor, Iron Man, I actually think Cap supersedes Iron Man for the case in point that Iron Man died. He died. He died.
Okay, people die. I'm just saying,
Nope. Captain Marvel didn't. Captain Marvel
not yet.
And guess what? Cap didn't die, not in the films. In fact, Cap was the first Avenger, and Cap ended the movie, the whole Avengers series. So there's probably more of a reason to have Cap on Mount Rushmore than Iron Man.
You could. I mean, if we all agreed, this would be a useless topic. So I understand. I respect your opinion.
So Sean, because Iron Man died, he shouldn't be on the list because he sacrificed himself. Meaning,
that's true. He didn't die.
He was heroic and to put everyone else first and put the glove. Like, we're talking about the comic book movies at this point. So, because he put the glove on and sacrificed himself, he shouldn't be on Mount Rushmore.
What an asshole!
If we're defining a top 4, I think he. I think Iron Man loses a spot for stupid decisions. Yeah.
So I'm curious, which
Hey,
that's I didn't realize that.
Hold on. Hey, Sheehy, how many Avengers? How many were in the vicinity of that glove at the end of that movie? and Iron Man felt like he was the one who had to go make the ultimate sacrifice out of essentially a group of individuals who are all about making the ultimate sacrifice.
He was the closest one, had created a glove to take the stones, and on top of that, tricked Thanos into thinking that he still had the powers and the stones in his actual glove, put it on, went to do the snap, and it didn't happen. Because Tony was so far ahead in his thinking, he set up the entire thing to be able to do that. And he knew it the entire time he was going to have to make that sacrifice.
He's the leader. He's supposed to.
He still went through with that decision. And because of that, he gets taken off of Mount Rushmore. I mean, I don't have
him on your Mount Rushmore.
I mean, you don't have on yours, so clearly.
I don't think he
no, because he had Wonder Woman.
Because Wonder Woman, because of all the women in the Marvel or Justice League universe, Wonder Woman is. I said Justice League. Wonder Woman is the best one to have on there.
Yes, absolutely. She's
okay.
She's the OG of all the women superheroes.
So can I go back to Sean's original theory?
Fact check that.
Sean's theory about dying holding you off the Mount Rushmore. I just really thought back to asking Sean how all four of those presidents made it on Mount Rushmore somehow, and still somehow ended up dying. Sean, crazy. So in that, I mean, it should be Obama, Trump, George Bush, and whoever else is still alive.
Yeah, I mean, no dead president.
There's a dangerous path. Yeah.
Sean.
Well, that's interesting.
Superman was in 1938.
I also feel. Hold on. Come back. Come back. I'm done. Hold on. It's not just that
Stephen A. and Max Kellerman. Would you relax?
It's not just that he died. It's also
God.
He can. He's vulnerable without his suit.
Oh my God.
He's a philanthropist, playboy. That's
okay,
all.
Batman's off your list then.
No. Thank you. Exactly. No. Everyone's off your list except Superman.
But he's a human and just as rich.
Did Batman die? Did Batman die?
He hasn't.
You know he's going to die, right? It just hasn't been caught on a film yet. Bruce Wayne's going to die.
Sean, also,
you're an idiot.
One of your Mount Rushmores is a rip-off character of an original Captain Marvel that was part of the DC universe. Captain Marvel, the original character, is now Shazam. So you chose one of your characters on Mount Rushmore that is a rip-off of Marvel from DC. But no, yeah, let's talk about a rich guy.
That's true, right?
I thought we were just picking four superheroes that we wanted on our own Mount Rushmore. I didn't know we were getting into a further debate about this.
No, God. And then we're getting into a debate.
Threatened me through text that we were going to go at this.
Yeah.
Final minute on superheroes. He go.
I think all of our Mount Rushmores are phenomenal. I think you could debate this until we're all blue in the face. If the three of us, my biggest takeaway is if the three of us didn't have Superman on there, we would probably have bigger issues. If the question was asked
That's a good point.
to the generic public, who is a comic book character or superhero character in your mind? There's not a person on the planet that wouldn't think of Superman before anything.
It's the icon. They think of that logo right on your shirt. That's it.
Yep. There's a reason why I wore the shirt tonight. So.
Yeah. I almost wore it too. That'd be awkward. I'll say this. So one of my biggest things about Superman is I know it's a monologue from a movie. It's from Kill Bill 2 if you've seen it. But one of my favorite things about Superman is and he brings it up in this really well-written monologue. I'm not going to try and do it. But one thing that's great about Superman is different from all the other guys is Superman, right? Bruce Wayne is Bruce Wayne. He has to dress up to be Batman. Bruce Wayne wakes up every morning and he's Superman. He has to dress up like Clark Kent to make sure that he blends in with the rest of the world and nobody knows who he is, which is very interesting. And it's the movie goes into how it's basically this is Superman's idea and what he sees from the American public, the shy, cowardly guy with glasses who has no self-confidence. That's who Superman has to pretend to be to fit in with everyone else so people don't know he's Superman. And that's one of the coolest things I think, that I like about him. Outside of that, he's just complete badass, as well as everyone else on the list.
Sean?
Yeah, I picked a crew that I just want to friggin' hang out with, grab a beer, like just go down, have a poker game with, and I feel like I wouldn't get screwed, like
I
Superman,
do.
great guy. He's a leader. I follow him. Batman, the cool
Are you
guy
just-
too. In fact, he'd probably pick up the tab.
He's rich.
Captain
Are you
Marvel,
gonna
she's
fit this
shit.
poker thing in
And she's
all
the one-
night?
and she's the one. She's
Yeah,
the one.
right.
Excuse me. I let you guys both speak. Would you please allow me the same courtesy? Thank you. Captain Marvel. She's like the muscle. I don't have to worry about a thing because she'll just mess shit up.
She'll
And then
just rip
Spider-Man,
off other
he's my boy.
characters. Yeah.
Ryan,
Are we not going to talk about how Captain Marvel's really hot too, or just skip past that?
she's hot. That one into it.
Yeah.
Can't deny that.
Oh, he's sexist pig.
All right, Ryan Sheehy.
Mhm.
Turning topics. 133,000 cases of COVID-19 coronavirus now in the United States, over 2,300 deaths. The projection is that we are 20 days out from Apex in New York City.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's been an interesting 2 weeks to say the least.
The scary part, honestly, Sean, is that the numbers are still early for us to really be judging it. But
Yeah.
based on overall, percentages and loving math, out of all the world's cases, we're I think when I was doing the math today, we're 18.9% of all the world's cases, but only, I want to say 7% of the deaths at this point, which sounds good, but when the average, and again, there's mixed reports out there, but the average case of COVID ranges from few days to a couple weeks for some people. So I think it's a little early to be judging some of this stuff, but to hear the governor of New York, Cuomo, come on and say that they don't think their apex is going to hit for another 21 days and that other cities could be joining them in some of the fastest growing areas, like New Orleans is being rampaged right now. And then other individuals, like part of the president's staff, I can never say his last name correct, but the doctor.
Fucci or whatever?
Yeah. You're
Yeah,
probably
that guy.
better than I can. He was on, I think, CNN today saying that this could go as long as 12 to 18 months in the grand scheme of things. Maybe not from an apex perspective, but that's scary. I mean, they're not close to any sort of, not cure, but some sort of thing that can alleviate this protection for us. They still don't know if people that are getting over it are immune to it or if they can get another variation of it after the fact. There's just a lot of unknown right now, and I don't see this alleviating itself anytime in the near future.
So look, this Friday actually, and I think she had told you the story. It was the first day this week, actually, throughout this whole thing, where I was like, "Wow, this is really reality of working from home. This is really how we're going to operate for really at least the next month, for at the very minimum the next month." I want to just go around minute each on what we're learning and how to operate. Maybe something positive, because it's so easy to go negative on this. I know negative can be realistic, but Morris, let's start with you. What are you learning over the last week or two on how on the go forward here?
Yeah, no, I'm certainly not going to argue with anything he just said. Jesus, it's thundering here live on the set.
Thor's
not happy with us.
Not on the list.
But no, I think at this point, at this point, I mean, I hate to say it, I'm just focusing on what I can control. I'm not going out. I'm doing what people tell me to do. I'm working from home. I'm listening. I'm trying to listen to qualified sources and information. I'm not going on Facebook and posting memes every 5 minutes. I'm not buying into these online debates with people I've never met and all this other really just bullshit that you see every day. I'm not going around like these 20-year-old kids licking toilet seats and putting it on TikTok, or going to the beach, or doing all this just stupid shit that is so infuriating to see. And I hate to say it, you get those side by sides, breaking news, boy who licks toilet seat in Corona challenge test positive for coronavirus. No shit. What was your end goal? What did you expect?
I haven't seen the lick toilet seat yet. I mean, I just don't feel like you should
Don't worry
lick
about it.
even outside of coronavirus. But that's
Catch a lot worse
Crazy.
than COVID.
True.
Ryan, a minute to you.
Yeah. My 3 items that I've learned, first of all, husband and father of 3, work-life balance no longer exists.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Can't.
No, it's impossible. And on the positive side of it, I would say that
I'll make you feel it.
we're going to learn a few things. I mean, company and people's true character are going to come out in a time like this. And we're already seeing some companies, there's a handful of CEOs that have already essentially eliminated their salary. There was one guy I saw today where it's like reduced to like $10,000 a year so they can pay all their employees. It's phenomenal. I'll follow those companies until I'm dead because of people like that. And then the other one, my final thing is because of all of this, it shouldn't take this, but just an appreciation of people in my life. And I'm not just talking my family, friends, coworkers. Sean, we were talking about it last episode a little bit, like just the interaction of human beings and whatnot, being able to go face to face, go out to a bar, hang out with friends or whatever it might be. You kind of sit in your home sometimes and think, oh, I don't want to go out. I don't want to do this. And you don't realize, appreciate the human interaction. Like, it's great that the 3 of us are doing this and we have this, but there's a lot of people out there that don't have that human outlet. And as much as there's a lot of self-claimed introverts out there, I think there's a lot of people missing and appreciating what we once had as a society, to be able to just at will go out and interact with other human beings. I'll never lose sight of that, appreciating that.
Sheehy, I really wish you saw my list right now because I'm fairly confident I actually have 3 for 3, exactly what you have. I wish our Mount Rushmores were equally as
Never will.
powerful, but I mean, I've had a number of conversations over the phone or virtually with people that like I taking for granted what I get to do every day, and go out and talking to people. Sure, it's hard. Sure, a lot of people don't like to do what I do. But cold calls or walk into businesses and have, conversations with people face to face. But man, I miss going to talk to people in another human. I mean, it's just, it takes you back a little bit. So that's one. 2, we learn about who people are, right? We learn about how people handle the hard times, and we learn about who's going to persevere in the hard times. We learn about small businesses that will just give up, and we'll learn about businesses who will make the necessary decisions in continuing. And look, I got to say, for a couple things. One, if business is tough right now, if it's not convenient for you, have a little patience. Businesses are putting operations in place that they've never had to. They're making decisions that they never had to. Business owners are exhausted. And sure, they signed up for this. This is what they're doing it, but it's hard out there. It's really hard for them to do this. So those who are doing the right things will get through, and they will rehire good employees if they have, if they can make it through this. Number 3, this is a good time to really focus on what matters. The amount of time that I've gotten to spend with my wife through this, as annoying as I can be,
you can be.
It's extremely valuable. It's extremely valuable. The amount of time I've gotten to connect with my friends, it's extremely valuable. Because you're kind of confined to your house and you're looking for that kind of stuff. So hang in there, everyone. I think something we all 3 of us can agree on is we are going to get through this. I think the big question right now is when will that be, and what's it going to look like on the other end of that tunnel?
That's a bit. Honestly, Sean, that last point right there is the biggest thing. Is that this? It's never going to be what it once was.
Yeah,
it can't. Things are going to be a lot different moving forward, even when we're. First of all, right now, there's some studies trying to focus on the disease itself, and this may cycle every year from this point forward, like the flu does, because they don't have a cure for it. There's already multiple variations and strains of it out there in society. This may, because of the seasons and the hemispheres, may continually cycle, and because of the travel in this world and whatnot. So handshakes may go away for a lot of people. I mean, this is going to change society in a major way, but there's been major society changes throughout history. I'm not saying some of it's necessarily a bad thing, but a lot's going to change in the future.
One more point to that I'll put to you both is actually, what are we going to learn about our businesses and our teams from this experience? a lot of business owners, a lot of CEOs a lot of old school dinosaurs have been reluctant to move to this operating from home remote strategy. We're going to learn through the next 4 weeks about how efficient business can be done with not having a location.
To your point, Sean, I've heard a couple of stories about owners of local businesses giving their employees a hard time about not coming to the office. I mean,
that's crazy.
For certain jobs, like if I work at Hannaford or a grocery store, Whole Foods, whatever it might be, and I need to physically be there to be able to do my job, okay, that's one thing. But for the average job out there that is based off of a computer and a phone in some way, shape, or form, to hold that person to that, that's your insecurity of judging that person coming and doing their job. It's a joke. In 2020, if you're saying that to one of your employees and they absolutely don't have to be in your building to show that they're doing work, then that says all you need to hear about that person's business.
Yeah.
And on that same note, if it's from a technical thing and you're not comfortable that they're going to be able to do their job from home as they would in the office, that's your fault. That's not theirs. You need a plan for that shit.
Then invest in your business.
And going forward, you're going to have a plan now. But to that same point, though, I mean, it also, Sean, it depends on the business. Yes, for someone working from a computer and a phone, yes. But to Sheehy's point, a grocery store, restaurants are doing takeout, but what's that, 10% of their normal volume? Barber shops, hair salons, they can't do it. You can't do certain things remote. And if you have to close, you're going to take a hit. And unfortunately, like we said earlier, depending on how long this goes, I mean, we threw out the date of when school will be back, early May. This isn't going to be resolved in a month. Back to normal, 100%. Hopefully kids can go to school and be safe, but I don't see, that's why I don't bother following these timelines. None of them make sense. It's way too early to say when we're going to go back to normal when we don't even know what that is. Well, like I said, I'm controlling what I can do.
Dan, to your point, I mean, regarding timelines, the president and the White House they were saying their hope was to open the country, whatever this is, open the country.
Yeah.
By Easter, they've already pushed.
Easter, crazy.
They've already pushed their timeline.
What a ridiculous statement.
Well, I think he announced today, April 20th. They're now pushing their timeline back. Yeah. The shelter in place and whatever it might be, all the things. I don't know. I zone out.
What it is.
That's talking.
It's bigger problems.
Yeah.
Moving on here to our third topic in sports here. Dan,
do something fun.
Thursday, April 23rd, the NFL draft is still scheduled to kick off. A lot of debate in the sports world whether or not this should be kicked to a virtual. Some owners are not for that. I don't know the latest. Thought I'd check in with you to see what the latest is on this.
I don't know.
I mean, should this get kicked back? Should this be done virtually? Yeah,
there's no point. You can do what's stopping you from doing the draft? You literally tell the commissioner what player you want to draft, and then it's done. Well, from an entertainment perspective, they can't do it. Obviously, it's not going to happen the way it usually does.
Yeah, from the ownership's perspective, there's a lot of relationships and things that need to be done in person.
You got to FaceTime them.
Coronavirus is.
You can't. Like it's going back to the thing we just talked about. There's some things you just can't do. Get over it. By going out and watching Joe Burrow throw a football is not going to change anything. He can throw a football. He can play. If you're going to take him a month ago, take him. That's my only thing. I think it's going to be from an entertainment standpoint. Yeah. And again, this draft happened to be built up. It was going to be in Vegas. I don't know if you guys saw they were going to have like that boat come out and pick the player up and like bring him out to the podium. That would have been awesome. It's just not going to happen, obviously. Yeah. You just can't keep pushing. You push the draft back. Okay, now we have to talk about pushing OTAs back. Now we're going to push back the regular season. We're going to be at Thanksgiving, and everything's going to be like, it's not going to work. The other interesting one was the NBA draft. Right now, the NBA draft happens in like June or July. That's usually when the season ends. Can't do that because you can't have an NBA draft during the season. How's that work? Yeah. So I think you just have to, with the draft, do it, figure it out. Have the commissioner there, maybe have a couple guys from ESPN to take care of it. It's going to be a lot of FaceTime. Probably going to be cameras set up at guys' homes. That's how they do it, all the rounds after the first round anyway. But Schefter had a good, I think it was Schefter. He put out the idea of, from an entertainment standpoint, having one round every night of the week on television instead of like forming it. Just something to look forward to.
Oh, like this way. 7 weeks or something. Yeah.
7 days. Yeah. Any new live sports, people are going to watch it. If it's on FaceTime, those ratings are going to go through the roof. I'll watch it.
The only sports thing we would have to watch right now.
Yeah, I was watching Chicago Bulls, New York Knicks games from the '90s today on NBA TV. Like,
well,
I'm ready for anything.
Speaking about that, last couple nights it's been Bruins playoffs, right? So
I saw that. That's cool.
what have you guys?
Red Sox too.
I got so sad.
What have you guys been watching on for sports?
I like that they filter through a lot of the 30 for 30s, which are good.
I've been
a lot of March Madness stuff. Yeah. The Bruins thing's cool. The Red Sox I saw was on today. That's pretty much. I mean, but still, you can only watch those for so long. So like, okay, am I really going to sit here and watch a 2-hour game that I've already seen before?
The sports, I mean, all of them really have no choice at this point, though.
100%.
I mean, the NHL itself has announced that there's 4 positive tests on teams, 2 from, I think it was Ottawa Senators, and 2 from the Colorado Avalanche as of a couple of days ago. So, I mean, like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, NBA, same thing.
Right. That means the staff and other people are exposed. Mm-hmm. You don't have a choice.
James Dolan, the owner of the Knicks, got tested positive this weekend too.
Yep.
Jesus.
He's in a meeting with 50 people a day. But no, I'm mostly like, at least there's still talk about NFL free agency and stuff, but it's just like we talked about last week. How long can, hopefully it happens this season. Like, these signings are great. I'd like to actually see the players play.
I don't know.
Not getting any younger.
This week, Cam Newton released by the Carolina Panthers. Any temperature on where we feel Cam Newton will end up?
Vegas odds today was Chargers, but he's not going to start there. I mean, he might, but the whole narrative from San Diego is, all right, a week ago, all right, we're all in on Tyrod Taylor. Great. He stinks. Okay. We're going to draft Justin Herbert in the first round. Great. Where's Cam Newton going to fit in there? He's obviously better than Tyrod Taylor. And what's Justin Herbert going to watch him for 2 or 3 years and you do his whole thing over again? It's just, I don't know. I don't know where he's going to go. I don't think he can start anywhere at this point.
This could be a friendly debate, but I think Tyrod Taylor right now, from a health standpoint, is better than Cam Newton. Cam Newton hasn't been able to play a full season for how many years? 2 years? 3 years?
Yeah, I don't know.
Cam
it's just a whole...
And he has more accolades.
When he's healthy, obviously.
When he's healthy.
To Sheehy's point, that's fair. Yeah. Here's my other theory on the season.
Would you take a healthy Wonder Woman or an injured Spider-Man?
No. Don't come back to that. Seriously, here's I was thinking about this tour over the weekend with the Patriots, and Jared Stidham and Brian Hoyer and these guys they signed. At this point, I'm 100% all in on Jared Stidham at this point. I think he's going to be the best option either way. A couple reasons. I don't know where this narrative came from, but Jared Stidham isn't a bum. He played at Auburn. He played in the SEC. He came up here. He sat behind Tom Brady and Jimmy G for a little bit. He works with Josh McDaniels. He works with Bill Belichick. And here's the kicker. We don't know when the season's going to start. We don't know if there's OTAs. There's only one person on the in contention to play next year for the Patriots who already knows their offense, and that's Jared Stidham. Cam Newton doesn't know the offense. Jameis Winston doesn't know the offense. A kid you take in the draft doesn't know the offense. You're not going to learn the Patriots offense and then go start in a shortened season. It's nearly impossible.
Brian Hoyer
did they sign as well? Brian Hoyer. Exactly. He's on the Patriots as well. I think they did that for a reason. Jared Stidham could play tomorrow in the Patriots offense. Cam Newton can't. That's the biggest thing that worries me. Are they going to go 16-0? No.
Didn't the Patriots hire a quarterback coach that's known for working with younger, newer talent? Just like so, I mean, I agree with you, Dan.
Maybe.
I find it hard to believe that Belichick and the Patriots organization would have drafted a quarterback that they didn't think could have been a long-term fit for their organization.
They chose him over Tom Brady.
I was going to say, and they've done it with a couple of other quarterbacks. They just have shipped those guys off for various reasons because of timing, whatever it might have been. But Stidham just happens to be the right timing for them to move forward with a quarterback right now. I think there's something to be said about the decisions that were made about moving forward at this point. The other thing is there's a lot of rumors about the decisions that were made regarding Tom Brady's contract. I'm torn. Like I miss Brady already. I would have loved to see him finish his career from a story aspect, beginning to end, being a Patriot. But it's just not the world we live in today. I mean, Ray Bork was one of my favorite hockey players. I cried and was happy for him when I saw him win the Stanley Cup with the Colorado Avalanche. It's just, it is what it is.
I cried when Tony Stark died. I didn't want that to happen, but it did.
Just kind of keep bringing it up.
That's relevant.
This is
No,
great
that's a good
stuff.
point. But to Sheehy's point as well, remember that's how you were supposed to work quarterbacks in the draft. You would draft a quarterback, they would back up the quarterback for 3 or 4 years. Aaron Rodgers did it. He's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. All of a sudden, the last 5 years, you're just expected to come in and start, because that's what's been happening in the first round. Jameis, Mariota, Patrick Mahomes is obviously an outlier, but
Cam Newton.
you can't.
Mahomes is an outlier, but the majority of these franchises.
And actually, Mahomes didn't start his first year.
No,
So
he
he's
didn't.
literally an outlier with the old system.
Mahomes only came in because
level.
Alex Smith got injured.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
Otherwise-
So I guess
otherwise
that's
they
not
would've
even
stuck to the-
relevant.
No, they would have stuck to their guns on that. The other franchises you referenced were all in such bad condition in the quarterback and honestly the offensive standpoint that they had no choice. They had to put these
You
guys.
had to. Right.
I guarantee
right.
you a couple of them that probably put their careers on the wrong track.
Mm-hmm. No, I think at this point I'm confident Jarrett Stidham's going to start. I think they're going to have a winning record. I think they have a chance to win the division. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. And then I'd like to see what they do in free agency next year or the draft next year. It's how it goes.
Honestly,
Tom Brady left. You have to deal with it.
What I'm reading about their budgets in the 2021 season, if they don't spend a ton on free agents that are coming up, I'd be shocked.
Yeah,
I know they're not known for doing that.
I'd go get Deshaun Watson.
They're supposed to have like $100 billion in cap space.
Perfect.
I wouldn't hate Deshaun Watson either.
Take a year off. I'd love that.
All right. Good time here. No doubt more to come with sports. We'll probably have to get cousin Cammy on here soon because, well, he's cousin Cammy. Let's wrap this up. I'm going to take the first minute here in our final minute section, and I'm going to talk to you for a minute about a Netflix series that I just watched, Tiger King. Holy cow. If you haven't
never heard of it.
Tiger King on Netflix, carve out some time over the next couple rainy days to binge that. What a crazy happening out of Oklahoma, Tampa, with regards to really a couple individuals who just want to own big cats and are operating in a world that really doesn't want them to own big cats. And it's a bunch of backstabbing. It's a bunch of, fun, creative stuff that I'm not going to blow and spoil. But I do feel like Carol Baskins did kill her husband. And that's all I got with that. Finally, for my final point, he, my Mount Rushmore would kill your Mount Rushmore just because I have Captain Marvel. Morris, to you.
Honestly, we could probably do a whole episode on Tiger King, and I haven't even seen it yet. It seems popular enough. I wrapped up Ozark season 3 this weekend. That took about a day and a half. Absolutely phenomenal. Besides that, nothing really. Just kind of looking forward to, like we talked about on the sports front. I hope it's going to be nice. I hope they run the NFL draft as scheduled. I think we need something to talk, some new news circulating. You know what I mean. So I think that'll be good for sports economy, so to say. But that's about it.
Postponed the NHL draft, so we need something.
Yeah, nobody watches the NHL draft.
I know, but still, you look forward to it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Sheehy.
Yeah.
See?
My final thoughts kind of do with the current situation of things right now. I've seen a few people on social media talk about either through posting or conversations with family and friends, telling others to relax. Let's tone it down with telling. First of all, in the history of the universe, I'm pretty sure anytime someone has used the words "you need to relax" to someone else, it's never worked out well. Let's tone it down, cut people some slack right now, and just focus on yourselves, focus on your environments, just stop with the rhetoric of the bashing of this isn't real or going overboard about being super sensitive towards the situation. Like, just focus on your own.
Use common sense.
Yeah, and stop telling people to relax. No, it's not the time.
That's dangerous. Yeah.
So Sheehy, I'm gonna need you to relax on your poker game. You
said you were gonna come at me, and I haven't heard much. What's you taking a step back? What's the matter?
Well, after that Mount Rushmore, I had enough to kind of re-hone in on. I mean, I feel like your poker game's a lot better than your Mount Rushmore game. But I feel like you played really well. You got up on chip lead, and then you did what you needed to do. I
what a
feel like,
dick.
Sean, who knocked you out? Who knocked you out of the? No,
You did, and you won $300 for it. All right. So in
Nice.
closing, thanks for listening. As you all know, Superman looks like Superman is the one consistent on the Mount Rushmore superheroes. We'll probably put a post out on this. So lead your 4 Mount Rushmore superheroes up on the Triple Threat Podcast Facebook page. Also, Morse has your playlist for your coronavirus at home. Dave,
social distancing. Yeah.
Jeez,
We have some good ones on the post.
It's
My favorite was Megan Morals had "Show Me the Meaning of Being Lonely" by Backstreet Boys. That was a good one.
Yeah, I like.
That was a really good one. Too accurate.
I touched
Yeah, that's
myself
good too.
by. I touched myself by Divinals. It was good too. All right,
Ooh,
so
TMI.
so thanks for listening. 3threatpodcast.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you can find your podcasts. Anchor. I'm Shawnee O. That's She, the Irishman. That's Morse the Sports. See you guys later.
Bye, guys. Jesus.
Yep. Take 2.
The dose is Spanish for 2, by the way. I don't even know. Do you want to hear the story, or do you want?
Sean.
Damn it, we lost him, huh?
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of happy.